Hello and welcome back to another Premier League video where this time I'm previewing Matchday 29 games. Usually I have previewed the midweek games with these current Matchday games, but this time there's just too many of the matches, about 7 or 8, so I'm gonna preview them probably on Monday or Tuesday. But here are the standings. Arsenal, they lead the league with 8-point difference to Manchester City, and then United and others follow. The first match of this Matchday 29 will be a huge match, title race point of view, and also Liverpool's top 4 point of view as well, because Manchester City and Liverpool will face each other 12:30, so early game. A bit interesting that it's decided that this is the first game of the match day. Obviously on its own that's understandable, but so early for a great match, but yeah, I don't mind it. Manchester City, they are coming off that 6-0 Burnley win in FA Cup. Their last match in Premier League, however, was narrow win against Crystal Palace away from home 1-0. Liverpool, yeah, their last match is from it's been a while, and in Premier League they lost that match to Bournemouth 1-0, so yeah, they're looking to get it together in Premier League, that's for sure. And it's tough to predict this one. Maybe Manchester City would win this one, but then 3 p.m. Will be Bournemouth and Fulham facing each other, and also 4 other games beginning at same time on Saturday. All these are local times if I didn't mention already. Bournemouth, they lost their last game 3-0. That wasn't that great. They lost to Aston Villa away from home. Fulham, they lost the FA Cup game to Manchester United, but yeah, they also lost Arsenal home game 3-0 as well. So obviously Arsenal winning Fulham this season is not that surprising, at least in my point of view, because amazing season for Arsenal. But it's gonna be intriguing game, though I'm not sure how many people will watch that, especially because the league leaders will be in action. But Nottingham Forest and Wolverhampton will play next. Both teams, they have struggled a bit this season. Nottingham Forest, obviously, they are not directly under the relegation battle, but close to it as well. And Nottingham Forest, they lost their last game 2-1 to Newcastle, so it could be better, but it's Newcastle, and Newcastle has been great this season, at least quite good, because if you look at the standings, they are 5th and close to maybe getting into top 4, so no shame in losing that game. And Wolverhampton, they lost 4-2 to Leeds at home, so that's not great for them the last time they played in Premier League. So both teams looking for a win here, which would be valuable for each team. So this could end up being a draw as well, so both teams would get a point, but both teams definitely need the points here. Then Crystal Palace will face Leicester, who have fallen dangerously close of getting relegated. And let's see what's going to happen with Leicester. And Crystal Palace is not going great for them either. Let's see how it will go under Patrick Vieira. They did okay, but they decided to sack him. Let's see how under Roy Hodgson they will do. Crystal Palace, their last match was against, actually, if I remember correctly, it was against Arsenal, and they lost 4-1, so not that great for them. But again, it was Arsenal, so and also Leicester, their last match, it was 1-1 draw against Brentford, so not ideal there either. But both teams are struggling, bit like Nottingham Forest and Wolverhampton, so these 4 teams, any one of them would want to win this match day. Obviously every team wants to win, but maybe more than any other team, those would need the wins. Although there are some relegation sides that are going to battle after those games that I mentioned. Arsenal and Leeds, Leeds being another one of them who have struggled. Arsenal not so much, as I said, they lead the league with 8-point difference to Manchester City. And yeah, their last game, as I mentioned, with Crystal Palace, they won 4-1 and they're rolling. Let's see if international break harmed them or maybe did them good and gave them rest, and they are fit and ready to go. Whereas Leeds, as I mentioned with Wolves, they won their last game 4-2 in Premier League. So let's see if Leeds could maybe make a surprise here. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, it's always possible, right? Then the last game at 3 p.m. will be Brighton and Brentford, two teams that have been quite good this season. So yeah, this could be a good match to watch maybe. Brighton, their last match, well, that was in FA Cup 5-0 win against Grimsby. But yeah, their recent game in Premier League was against Crystal Palace, and that one they won 1-0. I believe that was the midweek game played. So yeah, they won that. Whereas Brentford 1-1 home draw against Leicester. So yeah, interesting game there. Yeah, as will be the latest game on Saturday that's gonna be played between Chelsea and Aston Villa. Chelsea, if you look at the standings, surprisingly, they are directly above Aston Villa. And yeah, 10th place, not what was expected from them. And even though they made some great signings, or at least expensive, Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk, and Joao Felix, for example, it just has not clicked yet. At least that they would climb up the standings. And yeah, I'm not sure about their chances of getting into European places now. It's looking kind of hard for them. But yeah, Chelsea, their last match 2-2 draw against Everton. So yeah, could be better. Aston Villa, they won 3-0 against Bournemouth. This could be maybe an upset, if you could say that Aston Villa could maybe steal points. But Chelsea need to get it together now, and yeah, let's see how this match goes. Then two games on Sunday, beginning with West Ham and Southampton at 2 p.m. So earlier of these two games, West Ham, their last match was 1-1 draw against Aston Villa, whereas Southampton, their last match was also draw, but against Spurs, 3-3 draw. Ultimately, that got Conte sacked, and yeah, 3-3 draw in their last game. Let's see if Southampton could score 3 again here. Probably that wouldn't be a draw if they managed to do that, but yeah, let's see how these teams will fare. Obviously, Southampton, when you look at the standings, they are last in the league, so they would need the points, and yeah, not just 1 but 3 against West Ham, who, in fairness, they have struggled this year. Then Newcastle and Manchester United. It's not that long ago that they faced each other. 4:30 the game will be, and yeah, Newcastle will be looking for revenge against Manchester United, and let's see if they could do that. And Newcastle, their last game, as I mentioned, with Nottingham Forest earlier in the video, they won 2-1 there. And Manchester United, their last game is in FA Cup, where they won Fulham 3-1, but last league game was against Southampton, and that was 0-0, and if I remember correctly, they still have Casemiro, I believe he's still suspended in the Premier League, so yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that could be a huge loss for Manchester United in this tough match against Newcastle. Then, one Monday game, Everton and Spurs. The midweek game's gonna start on Tuesday, so yeah, not that long from the Matchday 29 games. But Everton Spurs, Everton, yeah, they draw against Chelsea. That was good result for them. Let's see if they could surprise another London team who struggled against Southampton. Now they got new coach Stellini, and yeah, 3-3 away draw against Southampton. The last match. I would expect Spurs to bounce back under new coach, but yeah, maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe I'm just overly optimistic for them. But yeah, many interesting games. If I had to recommend something to watch, obviously Manchester City Liverpool. I'm not sure when this goes live, it might already be going. But Newcastle and Manchester United also, that would be a good match. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and hit the like and subscribe for more football and Premier League content, and have a nice day.